Hello everybody, welcome to another VisionOS tutorial. I know it says SwiftUI Tutorial here, and it's from the Apple developer website, but this is a great introduction to SwiftUI and multi-platform applications. In this tutorial, we'll be going over an iOS application that will be targeted for for a watchOS application and a macOS application. Then I'll tack on the part where we'll do the VisionOS portion. If you are excited and want to move ahead, you can do that by skipping out to the most recent videos to find that VisionOS portion. And you can also grab the code from the GitHub page to make that happen pretty quickly. However, for the rest of us, I implore you to go through each part of this series so that we can get a very good understanding of SwiftUI, how it works, and develop a nice application called Landmarks. All right, I'm very excited to get started. So we'll start with Chapter 1, SwiftUI Essentials. We'll start by creating and combining views. Here, we'll start by building the Landmarks app, starting from the very beginning using these project files. We'll start by having Xcode 15, of course, and we'll create a new Xcode project using SwiftUI. And how to do that is pretty self-explanatory, and we can do this following this guide. Step 1, open Xcode, create a project, select iOS, select app, select landmarks, write that into the prompt name, and we can get started. Next. Okay, here we are. We have our Xcode. I have Xcode beta loaded. This is for VisionOS. As you can see, we create iOS app, click next, type in landmarks, and everything's SwiftUI, everything's perfect. Let's click next, and let's store this into a location. I stored it into our Xcode temp files. Here we started off with a content view. Let's click over to Landmarks app. Let's take a look at this code. So in step 4, what we're looking at here is a struct called Landmarks app, and this follows the app protocol. What the app protocol does is that it tells us that this is an application and which will display a body of scenes. So should have follow this protocol and call this a variable body and create some scenes. And this particular scene is called a window group, one of many scenes that you have learned about, possibly. And this window group scene allows us to create multiple windows. In this scene, we have a content view. And the content view is here, which allows us to see a preview of the code. Here we have an image in the VStack and a hello world. That is the preview. And let's see if there's anything else that I missed explaining. So an app that uses the SwiftUI app lifecycle has a structure that conforms the app protocol, and the structure body property returns one or more scenes, which in turn provides content for display. Yes, I did miss something. That's the reason why it's some scenes is because we can return one or more scenes. Some scenes that are available are scenes that appear in the menu bar. Some appear as settings over here. And in this particular case, it's just a window group. Also, we also missed talking about the main attribute. This tells us this is the starting point, app entry point for this particular app. So that's what that means. Also here in the content view, let's see if we are missing anything. I don't think there's anything that we're missing here about how this is a content view that follows the view protocol, and where the view protocol requires us to send back some views in a body. And in this particular situation here, we are sending out a VStack with an image of the globe and a hello world. Of course, the preview is not working here, and we saw that preview. on our device. As you can see, this is the preview that we should be able to see. And if the canvas isn't available, select the editor canvas to show it. Let's go back over there and make sure that we are, let me show you how that works. So this is the editor. As you can see, this button here between these three buttons. This is the editor button, and we can show the canvas or not show the canvas. If we do not show the canvas, then we do not see a preview. If we do, then we do see a preview. And that's it. That's the next two steps. Let's go to the sixth step. So here we are. We are in the seventh step actually now. And so inside the body property, remove everything but the text declaration and change hello world to a greeting of yourself. In this particular preview, we changed it to hello SwiftUI. So let's do that quickly. So remove everything. Hello Raymond. Let's see what that teaches us. So as you change the code in the view body property, the preview updates to reflect your changes, of course. Okay, so let's head over to section 2. All right, so section 2, we're going to customize the text view. It looks very simple here, what we're doing. We're going to make this particular view says a text that says Turtle Rock. We're going to change the font to title and change the foreground color to green. If we're impatient, we'll just type it right in. It's very quick to do that. However, what we're going to do here is we're going to learn a little bit about how we can use the inspector to change our code and write code. And let's just go step by step and learn as much as we can. So in step 1, you want to change the canvas mode to selectable. This allows you to interact with the live, well, this selectable allows you to select instead of live, which allows you to interact with your app. Let me show you what that looks like. So here we go. Let's take a look at that. This is the live mode right here. This is selectable mode. So with the selectable mode, you can select items like this and see that where it is in your content. What more is that, let's take a look, is that you can do a command control and you can click and embed it into a V stack, set it into H stack, and so on and so forth. So just another way of writing code, as you can see here in step 2. Then in step 3, we're going to change this turtle rock in the inspector. So inspector is here, and then we can type in turtle rock. With that, let's see what's next. They want us to change the font to title, and they also want us to change the color to green. So let's do that. So let's switch the title to title and set the color to green. With that, we have our code ready. For some reason, Turtle Rock has not happened yet, so we type in Turtle Rock. So wonder why that's not happening. Maybe it's buggy. Let's see. Let's see what happens after we leave the page. It looks like nothing has changed, and Turtle Rock has not updated. So, yeah, well, it doesn't quite work yet. So let's just delete that and type in Turtle Rock manually. That was pretty cool. Well, with that, let's take a look at the next couple steps. Let's see. They want us this time to open the control click the text declaration, then choose the show SwiftUI inspector, and choose the pop over and choose inherit. Change it up to black again. So we click that with control and show SwiftUI inspector. As you can see, we can do an add modifier. I don't think that's actually what we want. We want to click this one and we want to show inspector. All right, so here we see an inspector. Let's change it back to black. And it is now black. Perfect. So let's take a look, show preview to live mode. Um, Actually, it told us to change it to inherited. So let me change that back. So again, inspector, select inherited. Perfect. And with that, we remove the foreground.green and we can switch it back to live mode. With that, I think we can get to section 3 now. All right, into section 3, here we will create a VStack that has an HStack in it. Here's Joshua Tree, space, and a California. Here we learn about stacks. So how to combine views with stacks. So here we will be creating this view using combination of multiple stacks, both a vertical and horizontal stack. And that's it. Pretty simple thing. So let's use the initializer to embed it, the text view that we had earlier initialized into a VStack. Let's see how that's done. So we did that a little earlier because of some mistake. So let's click the control button and we see that we can embed it into a VStack. Next step, we are going to set it into, go into our plus button in the library and add a text view directly into the text, into the VStack. So let's go into that VStack, hit the plus button here, and we're gonna type in text view. Here we have a particular text view, we click it, and now we have our placeholder. Next, we type in Joshua Tree National Park. So, Joshua Tree National Park. With that, we can set the font to subheadline. We can use this as a way of typing it out, but at the same time, we can use our old method of changing the font to subheadline. All right, and then we have our VStack initializer to align the views to the edges. So by default, Stack centers their content along their axis and provides context appropriate spacing. So in order to do leading edges, we need to change the alignment to dot leading. So I think we have to type that out. I don't think there's a modifier for this. Actually there is. So let me type, just click that button and we have our alignment. That is so cool, isn't that? All right. So now we have to edit the VStack initializer to aligned, right? We did that. Now step 6, we embed the Joshua Tree National Park text into a HStack. So we know how to do that. Let's do a click here, embed into HStack after a control click. Afterwards, let's add a new text view after location and change the placeholder text to park states. Let's see what that looks like. Looks like we're looking for California here. So that is pretty easy. Let's just do a copy and paste and change this to California. Great. Looks like these are pretty close to each other at this point. So to use the full width of the device for this HStack, we're gonna have to put in a spacer. So to separate the two. So a spacer expands to make its content containing view use all the space of its parent view instead of having its size defined only by its content. So it uses every last space possible. And with that, we have separated this, and it looks like we need some padding on the sides because it's a little bit crowded over near the edges. So using a padding modifier, we can give it a little space. So Do we do that in the VStack or the HStack? Let's try into the VStack first. Ooh, that gives us padding up between the top and the bottom, but does not give us the padding for the entire VStack. So let's move that padding into the HStack here, and we have what we desire, which is that little bit of padding from left and right side for the entire VStack. And with that, I think we are done with section 3. Okay, here we do section 4. We're going to create a custom image view. As you can see here, we have an image. We're going to do a clip shape and we're going to do a circular border. Let's click replay. Let's see what that looks like. And so we're going to have an image. We're going to cut a little circle into an image here. So with the name and location view all set, the next step is to add an image for landmark. Instead of adding more code in this file, you're going to create a custom view that applies a mask, a border, and drop shadow to the image. Okay, so let's start by getting the image from our project's assets catalog. Okay, so we'll of course go to the Finder, and we have not downloaded the project file, so give me a moment. Okay, so we have our file here. Let's go in, let's go to resources, let's grab that Turtle Rock 2x image, and we're going to place it into our assets, I believe. Let's see. So let's go to our beta. Here's our assets. We're gonna drop it in right here. Perfect. With that, let's create a new file. We're gonna call this circleimage.swiftui, and we're gonna create. So pretty simple here. Let's do a new file. SwiftUI view, circle view. Set here. Let's see what's going on. So step 3, we're going to replace the text with an image of Turtle Rock. Here we have a square image, and we want to clip the shape into a circle. So we just add clip shape circle. As you can see here, there is no way of adding that modifier. There are no modifiers at this point. Let's add that in. Clip shape. And we're going to do circle. Perfect. Let's see what's happening here. I'm kind of interested about the modifiers. Like, I click the image. This is the, well, inspector. And there is nothing. There is nothing here in the modifier section, but I'm pretty sure I did a clip shape here. And it's still not seeing that. Well, here we have the circle. We're going to create another circle with a gray stroke and overlay it into the image. So overlay places a circle on top of the previous circle, and it's going to be have a line width of 4. So dot overlay. Whoops. We're gonna do a circle with a stroke of a line width of dot gray and a line width of 4. So what we can do here is look at a stroke, and we can see the type of parameters that we can input. So the first one is content, and the second one is line width. Okay, so next we add a shadow of 7-point radius, and we just do that by typing in shadow and radius of 7. This gives us a little shadow. If you can set it to let's say 100, we can see that it has a little darker. It's a little bigger, the circle. As you can see at the 100, the shadow goes all the way up. Okay, it looks like that was too big. Let's try 50. See, as you can see, it's much darker around the radius. So radius 7 gives it a nice little shadow. Okay, we're gonna switch the border color to white to get a better color. Let's do that. So that's our circle view. Circling back to the code, it looks like we have a deprecated function here. As you can see, overlay um, blank and a parameter, and also alignment parameter is deprecated, and we would like to use this one instead, where we have the alignment first and then content. Let's type that out. So let's say overlay, and we want the alignment first and the content. In alignment, let's center it because that's where we want the overlay to start, and we have the content. So the content is going to be a circle. We're going to give it a stroke of a color white and a line width of 4. Perfect. Let's get rid of this deprecated version of the overlay. All right, back to our code here. Let's go back to this particular part. Okay, onward onto section 5, use SwiftUI view from other framework. Now you create a map to that centers on a given coordinate, and you can give a map view from map kit to render map. Okay, so we're going to create a map view Swift file, which will render a map, and we can use that map to and combine it with our view and make a beautiful view. So let's get started and create a map view and import map kit. So when you import SwiftUI and certain other frameworks into the same file, you gain access to SwiftUI specific functionalities provided by that particular framework. Here we're importing MapKit, so we get MapKit specific framework functionality. All right, let's take a look. So here we go, new Swift file, map view. And as you can see, we need to import MapKit. That we can move on to the next step. So create a private computed variable that holds the region information for the map. So this is a private variable that's only available for this particular file. For this particular struct. My bad. And this is a variable, a region, and it takes on this particular class called MK coordinate region. And so it will return MK coordinate region centered at this particular location, which we've set as Joshua Tree. And this particular span is how wide our view is going to be. So let's just copy and paste this piece of code because, well, we don't really want to type it out, do we? Okay, so let's set that here. Format it, look a little bit fun here. It looks like they put it below the body. I put it above. That should be fine. Let's replace the default text view with the map view centered at the camera position where we initialize the region. So we click map, initial position, region.region. So type in map. We're going to set initial position. We're going to set this at dot region. This is our enum. And we're going to set this at our particular region that we set earlier. Here we are generating a map and we're getting the location of Joshua Tree. Actually, it's centered on Turtle Rock. You can also manipulate the map in live preview by zooming out a bit and seeing the surrounding areas using the option control drag control. Let's take a look at that. So this is the option. You get these two items and you can zoom in, you can zoom back out. Pretty interesting, right? So it's near San Diego. Whoops, sorry. Palm Springs. Pretty neat. Los Angeles. San Diego. Las Vegas. All right. Okay, so here we're gonna do section 6, our last section. Until then we're gonna do a little quiz on your own. And so here's how we're gonna compose a view. In this compose view, we'll have a map view, and then we'll have a circle image overlay the map view, and we'll have a our stack of text below that. Let's see how we're gonna do that. Let's in content view, we're gonna add a map view with a frame of height 300 above our VStack. Well, actually, we're gonna put a VStack in first, then we're gonna put our map view in. So let's do that. So we're going to embed this VStack inside of VStack. Then we're going to put it in the map view. And as you can see, it takes up the entire space. So we want to set the frame to a height of 300 to limit it. Next, I think what we need here is our circle view. As you can see here, the circle view has not gone up high enough. So we want to offset it by a y-axis of -130. That looks about right. And we're going to then do a padding. We need to set the padding up from the bottom to be -130. And that way we move the padding back up and we move the text. So everything's in the right place. However, we're not pushing everything to the top. So what we need here is, I think we need a spacing right below here. Spacer to push everything up. If that looks about right, I think so. Let's check the instructions, see if we're not missing anything. So here we go. So we add the map view, frames 300, add a circle image. Oh, I called it circle view. We add the offset and padding to move the image upward. And then we add a spacer to the bottom. Perfect. Now, lastly, we want to add a divider inside the VStack to give a little bit more information about our landmark. So let's put that in there. And that's going to be inside our HStack. Here's a divider. That's what it looks like. So with that, what do we have? Then we want to move the sub headline font modifier and add a foreground style to our HStack. So as you can see, these are duplicates. So we can use the same modifier twice for everything inside our HStack, as you can see. And we can also add a font style. It's not called a font style. What is it called? Foreground style. And we're going to do a secondary. Perfect. With that, we are complete with step 8, and we are done. So go answer those questions in the Check Your Understanding, and we're gonna move on to build list and navigation in the next video. All right, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you learned something today. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video, building a list and navigation. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.